A lot of people who claim to be against marijuana have no idea that they don't know. They have no idea that they really don't know why they have the stand that they have. And they just come up with a stand and come up with these, you know, anecdotal reasons why they say no. But if they listen to some truths, and I think that's what Reverend Diaz had an opportunity to do today, and not that I'm the only person in this country that's telling the truth, but, you know.
You might be the only person in Albany who's telling the truth at the moment.
Well, you know, when you have to ask a senator a question like, do you know, Senator, that the federal government dispenses marijuana every month, every 17th of every month, and has done so for the last 35 years, and your taxpayer dollars go to pay for that, and when a senator looks you back in the face and says, no, well, there's a problem here.
Is that how you get your marijuana?
No, I don't get it through that program.
How do you get it?
Here's the problem. See, that program was started under the first George W. Bush, and most of your viewers don't know this either. For 35 years, taxpayer dollars have paid for a program at the University of Mississippi to grow marijuana and dispense it
legally.
Legally.
Yep.
It was done to 20 people. Now, 16 of them have died, and there are 4 left. Those 4, every 17th of the month, get canisters of marijuana rolled and made by the University of Mississippi. Now, excuse me for a second here. I thought the job of the federal government was to do no harm. If that's true, why would you dispense a product claiming its efficacy if it wasn't?
So you actually use marijuana every day?
Every single day, and I will do so every day until the day I drop dead.
Before you came to the Capitol?
Yes.
Did you tell Reverend Diaz that?
No, but I spoke openly about the fact that I medicate myself, and I consider medicating. I medicate myself every morning, I medicate myself throughout the day, and I medicate myself every single evening, just the same way as anybody else does, and just the same way as I did when I got up in the morning taking the prescription medication that I was taking at inordinate amounts to keep track of the same issues that I have and I'm using marijuana for.
So where do you get your marijuana from?
I'm a card-carrying marijuana user in 2 of the 14 states that it's legal in, and I'll plead the 5th as to how I take care of my needs where I am.
So let me ask you then, right now, as we're speaking, you have already used marijuana today.
See, here's something that's so crazy about this. People don't understand the drug. If you read any information about it, go back to the 98 study that was commissioned by General McCaffrey under Bill Clinton, we proved for a fact that marijuana doesn't affect everybody the exact same way. People who have illnesses like mine that have traumatic neuropathic illness, we don't get the same euphoria that people who don't have it. A study just came out 3 months ago from the University of San Diego in California, commissioned by the government of California for 10 years. They studied marijuana, and they studied surreptitiously so nobody else could know that they were doing it, and that study came back proving unequivocally that it is one of the most efficacious drugs on the planet for the disease that I have, MS. I don't get the same euphoria that other people do. I get neuropathic pain lessening, and that's why I use it. I have pain in my lower extremities that is here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, every single minute of the day. I'm sitting here right now with you. You asked me if I use marijuana today. I'm sitting here right now with you, and I could, if I wasn't being interviewed, I would be outside here right now trying to make sure I can medicate myself to stop some of this pain, because that's where it's at, and it stays there. The only thing I can do right now is to take it from about a 6 to a 4, sometimes a 5 to a 3, and that makes it manageable. Are there other things that I could probably do? Oh yeah. How about let's take 16 Oxycontins today?
Well, but you could also take the fabricated version of medical marijuana.
No, you can't. It's something that's called marijuana that's been around in this country for 30 years. It's a synthetic version of the same drug. And that synthetic version of the drug has now been proven by everybody who's ever attempted it. That's the reason why I don't write prescriptions for it anymore, is because its synthetic nature makes it spike in ways that isn't like marijuana.
And it's not, you can't control the dosage.
Not at all. And it's kind of, it's strange. Here's what's so weird about this is that I always get that as the question. But no one in this country will ask this question. Why is it that today, if you have a child, your 10 to 14-year-old child can walk into any grocery store, any drugstore, any health food store in America and buy the most dangerous drug on the planet without a prescription?
Aspirin?
Without a doubt, girlfriend. And where is aspirin made? It's made from the willow tree, from the bark of the willow tree. Aspirin is sold over the counter, no prescription necessary. A child takes enough of them, and it's not a lot, dead, 2 hours, overdose and dead. We don't even know, and I defy anybody watching this to find a doctor who can answer this question. Right now today, medical science cannot tell you why aspirin works completely. They don't know. Aspirin is an analgesic, it's an anti-inflammatory, it's a painless. No one knows why, but we sell it. It was a plant. We developed it. Why can't we do the same thing with the marijuana?
Okay, the Senate actually, and you just met with John Sampson, suggested taxing medical marijuana.
Please do.
Are you okay with that?
Come on, let's tax it. Not only tax it, this is the bill that's written here in the state of New York is the best bill written in this entire country. I'm right now working in the state of Maine with the initiative in Maine. I'm working in the state of California with the California Initiative. I helped Senator Scutari and the state of New Jersey pass the marijuana bill in New Jersey. You know, what's absolutely insane is that in Oakland right now, that's going to be the first municipality that's going to sponsor grow facilities, and they're going to tax the devil out of it. Come on, I want you to, because see, here's the problem. People keep looking at this as if there's just a bunch of potheads sitting around in a corner somewhere. There are people out here, just like the pharmaceutical industry has not created one drug that they believe will work for more than 25 to 27% of the population. That's a fact. Not one pain pill, yeah. Not a Percocet, nothing. Not one pain pill will work for more than 27% of the population. You can take one, I can take one, they work differently in the two of us. It's the same thing with marijuana. It may work for me, it may not work for you.
But what do you say to people who say, oh, well, it's a gateway drug, people are going to abuse it and use it in some way that it then becomes, kids are going to have access to it. I know that it's written in a very stringent manner.
It's absolutely ridiculous because right now one of the most abused drugs in the country are prescription medication that kids take right out of parents' medicine cabinets. As a matter of fact, some of you watching right now, check the number of pills you've got in your little bottle to see whether or not a couple of them are missing. That's what we've been doing. So the truth is, the way this bill is written here in New York, it's going to be dispensed through the pharmaceutical industry, through pharmacies, not the pharmaceutical industry, through pharmacies. If pharmacists are the ones dispensing it, and they're the ones that right now have the ability to control all of the other legal drugs that we sell, like heroin, you can get heroin. A doctor can write you a prescription for that.
For an opiate-based drug.
No, I'm talking heroin, girlfriend, dimorphine. Dimorphine, heroin, the exact same drug. How about Talon, one molecule off from heroin? You can get that, clearly. How about Oxycontin? Now that's the opiate-based drugs, and there's a whole series of those. Okay, so if a doctor is smart enough to write a prescription for that, why are we saying that same doctor might not be smart enough to write a prescription for this? And they control those substances.
You've been coming here since at least 2004, at least. It is now 2010.
New York's a little slow.
A little. It's not moving. And the likelihood that it might move this year is questionable because, as you've seen, we've had a little bit of a budget mess here. I'm not sure if you've noticed.
And that's why I said earlier on, it's a little presumptuous of me to believe that everything's going to come to a screeching halt for this, but you got a budget crisis, and guess what? The state of New Jersey is about ready to actually kick your know-what, because New Jersey passed the law. And they passed that law last year. Even though Governor Christie is trying his best to stop it, he's only going to get about a 6-month moratorium. And at the end of that, the state of New Jersey is going to get sued. So the bottom line is they're going to start dispensing marijuana in New Jersey. And guess where New Yorkers are going? So you got a budget problem? You want to take care of your budget problem? $100 million a year is going into the budget coffers of California right now. And that's just the beginning. When Oakland opens it up, they're going to get $100 million themselves.
Are you meeting with any Republicans today?
I'm hoping to meet with anybody who's willing to say hello and let's talk. I mean, this is not, I will tell you that you're going to find that there are a lot of Republicans who are very supportive of this because a lot of them understand that this has been a ridiculously ignorant argument. How can they actually even be seated in an office in this country today and allow the federal government to dispense marijuana to 4 people and allow their constituents to be in pain? How dare they? So if you're a seated official right now, to me, how dare you claim to be representing your constituents when you're allowing other people to get something from the federal government that you won't allow your own constituents to get?
Forgive me for not being able to recall. Do you live in New York?
I live in New York. I live in Manhattan.
And you vote here?
I vote here.
And will you be voting for anyone who doesn't vote yes on this bill? Should it come up?
I'm here to tell you, it's not that there's no threat, but I believe in compassion. Here's something I do that nobody even understands from me. I had 22 years in the military. I was in the Marine Corps and the Navy. I spend every 3 to 4 weeks for the last 6 months, and I will do this for the next 10 years until we bring them all home. I go to Bethesda and Walter Reed hospitals, and I go visit our returning troops, the guys who just left body parts last week there. I see them when they come out. I'll be going back next week again. I do this over and over again. And why? Because I believe in compassion. And I believe in anybody else who believes in compassion. If you are compassionate enough to understand that there are people in this state that are suffering and you are not willing to relieve their pain in a way that's easy to do, you're not getting my vote, babe.
Montel Williams, I want to thank you very much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you.
Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.